Yo, welcome back to the channel. I've spent the past couple of months utilizing iOS 16, and here are a couple of my favorite features. But actually, before that, I have to update my screen protector. It's a bit cracked here. The first feature I enjoyed is this text reading ability on video playback. So here I have a little sample video. What you can do is just basically the video is able to read any text on it and you can copy and paste it over to wherever else. However, I did try to utilize this on YouTube and it doesn't work, but a quick way to get around that is basically take a screenshot of it and you can save it to your photos, and then from there I was able to capture any text on here too. And what's pretty neat is it even reads calendar dates and makes events for you too. So speaking of text, whenever you send iMessages, you're actually able to edit them. Now, I'm not sure what the actual capacity for time length is making an edit. I'm sure you could find that elsewhere online, but what is nice though is, for example, a long jumble mumble of mess I sent out, I can actually edit it and delete it all completely. It made me wonder though, if this is even possible on Android. So I tried texting my dad and unfortunately, it just doesn't work. It's clearly an iMessage thing only with editing messages, so definitely be cautious when you're texting friends who have a green bubble, I guess you could say. Now, related to copying messages and using the photo ability, there's this way that you can kind of mask out subjects within a photo. So here, I've been able to mask out Baby Yoda. I can just hold down my thumb and copy it and then text that as an image with the background mask. Now, as you can see, it's not perfect. My thumb did get caught up into it, but it's a neat little feature. Say I'm starting from home, heading to San Jose, and I want to make a stop. Let's say we want to go to the tiny keyboard shop in San Jose, right? It's pretty good, let's say. Add a stop. So like if we look at our routes, we have tiny keyboard shop in San Jose. But let's say like if I wanted to swap the two, I can't. There's no way of swapping these two. I can only delete them. As you can see, it always adds to the top of the list, right? So it never adds it beneath it. I wish there's a way to move these around. So for this, you're going to have to go to your settings, sounds and haptics, and then under that, there'll be keyboard feedback. And from there, there's a little toggle for haptic. I wasn't able to notice the haptic feedback engine with typing with the case on, but once I removed the case, it was much more noticeable. Now, sometimes I use my phone with one hand and I end up swiping. And the swipe haptic only works on the very first keystroke. If you've enjoyed this so far, definitely give a subscribe to this channel as well as a like for this video. And let's get on to more features. The next one is the notification system. So they have a stack versus what we used to have, which was a list. So here, as you can see, they kind of group all your notifications. This, I believe, is very similar to what Android has currently. So it's nice that you don't have to scroll all the way to the bottom with your notification system. Next is the little mini music player that's on the home, on the lock screen. Now you can scrub audio with Spotify here. You can even skip songs. And then what's nice is they're very specific for each app. Here I'm going to use Overcast, which is a podcasting platform. And as you noticed earlier, in Spotify, it has skip buttons, but with Overcast, it actually has plus 15, or sorry, minus 15 and plus 30-second marks. So besides the notification system setup, as well as the mini music player or audio player, they've given us a bunch of different wallpapers. Here we have a weather and astronomy set. We have an emoji set for some of you emoji fans. There's even a collections that Apple has featured. Now, I'm not any Photoshop expert or a UI UX designer, but I really love this color section, and having this as a simple starter template for me to use as a home background is pretty nice. Once you have your lock screen background selected, you can even edit the font as well as the colors that show up on the lock screen. So here, as you can see, you can pick any colors and update fonts. I've opted for a blue gradient with a white text. Now, for that little cute cat, you can add different widgets. That's another big feature that they finally added to the lock screen. Each app is going to have their own widget set. So as you can see, Clock has their own, and it seems like you're limited to a 2x4 or 1x4, however you want to look at this little setup for this widgets. So here we have the weather one, and even Apollo, which is my Reddit app that I utilize, and that's how I have my little pixel cat in the upper left corner. Check out the depth effect on this right now. Right, so it's 512, but then watch, once I start adding widgets, it actually messes it up. It removes the depth effect. So if I add that, and then sure, add some other one, right? So it removes the depth effect. But then if I remove them, if I remove those widgets, I get my depth effect back. I don't know if that's a bug or if that's intended of how this collection is handling that portion. But I did notice that it's gone though, once you add widgets in this. So that's unfortunate. So with iOS 16, it seems like the biggest changes were actually the home and lock screen. Obviously, with their latest iPhone 14 revolving around Dynamic Island, I think that's why they probably geared a lot of feature sets around the lock screen. So I hope you enjoyed this content. Definitely check out some of my other videos here down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.